decided to come today because I think it's important for me. My mother went to residential school and I myself went through Child and Family Services, and I work a lot with young people in our community who are affected by the legacy of Indian residential schools every day. And so it's important for me to come here not only to be with my community, but also to hear about what the report has to say. So this is a difficult day for me to accept the ending of the TRC mandate, because it very much to me feels like we're not done yet.
The public in general, and including the churches, I have not seen enough of the confession and the willingness to change, the recognition of what really has gone wrong. I think there is still an opportunity to do that, and that we can live together in full respect of each other's rights and aspirations.
We don't need help, we need relatives. Gachino and Wafomaina. Our philosophy is that we're all related to each other and to the whole creation. We are related in a way that if we're to be truly healthy as a society, we must learn to be together in dignity.
The last residential school was in 1996, so we still have current members of the generation that have experienced that, their parents and their grandparents that have gone through being torn from their families and their language and their culture and their traditional ways of dress and their practices. And all of those things have left us with a serious legacy that we see reflected in the child welfare system and our correction system, and make us recognize what the causes of issues like missing and murdered Indigenous women and children, where they're rooted in our history of colonialism, why we have to put that in context when we deal with those issues, and not deny that it's a real social and political problem rooted in our history.
We're very proud that this September, in partnership with the Canadian Museum for Human Rights, the city will host the first ever National Anti-Racism Summit at the Canadian Museum for Human Rights. We acknowledge our shared history and begin a collective journey of reconciliation together.
On behalf of the Commission, welcome all of you here today for this very special and very important moment in our history as a Commission and in our history as a country. Our recommendations should not be seen as an itemization of a national penance, but as an opportunity to embrace a second chance at establishing a relationship of equals which was intended at the beginning and should have continued throughout.
I'm just honored to be here today and to see this milestone within our Canadian history. This study is going to improve, I think, the healing journey of others. And I think my daughter's generation will be able to continue on as a strong Pride Nation.
The fact that they pushed for not only education on residential schools in Canadian school systems, but education on treaties, I thought was probably one of the things that we could do right now in Manitoba. We could implement treaty education tomorrow.
I think it's really important that the schools have Indigenous cultural advisors in their schools, not anybody else, because they're the ones that can really tell the stories. They're the ones that know. They're Indigenous. And I think with the CFS, they should be working with the families. When you pull apart a family, how can you mend them?
It's all of our problem. Everybody has to step up and take some responsibility here. And Commissioner Wilson said herself, it's time for Canada to be brave. Be brave, Canada, and accept part of the responsibility of reconciliation moving forward. And I took those words to heart, and I'm going to ask Canadians to be brave too. Recognize that this happened yesterday, but its legacy is still alive and flourishing today. We've got to stamp it out together, and that's really what it's all about.
I came here to TRC today to give support to the survivors and to bring my son here to gain a little more knowledge of what's going on in the world today.
so much support being in there. I was just like, this is what we need to grow and not to be quiet and just spread the word and, you know, teach it to everybody with the history of what has taken place today. It's made me proud to be here today.
This brings to a closure the formal TRC, but into the future, the church and others are working together to look at ways of walking the path of reconciliation.
Really today is more of a beginning than anything else. It's more of a beginning than an ending.